What's up everyone, my name is Daniel Livingstone, and today I'm going to be showing you my first ever look at LUMINAR AI by Skylum Software. This entire video was pulled from a stream that I did on Behance, so I live streamed the entire process, and you are getting my raw, first ever time using this program, their catalog, their edit module. I have used it before as a plugin, but that is about it going into it, so let's get into it.
Started. Hello everyone, thank you for joining the stream. My name is Daniel Livingstone, and today we are going to be using LUMINAR AI for the first time ever. So as a disclaimer, I have used LUMINAR before, but only as a plugin in Photoshop. So today we're going to be testing out the full-scale program. So, as someone who is a professional editor, as someone who retouches photos all the time, I'm always open to trying new tools and new things for my workflow. So that involves a bit of experimentation, and today that's what this stream is all about. So I have here in front of me LUMINAR AI, made by Skylum Software. So a little bit of background as to what LUMINAR is. It is a AI-based post-processing or raw processing software, photo processing, however you want to word it. But basically, the short of it is that it's kind of a Lightroom alternative. I don't think they have the same subscription model, so you purchase a key for the program and you own that version of that program. Kind of like how Adobe used to do it back in the day before Creative Cloud. And they have different upgrades, like I know Luminar Neo just came out, and that's like a completely different thing that I have yet to even try. But this works very similarly to Lightroom in terms of its like editing workflow, and they also add a couple of AI-based tools that kind of just do the work for you, like one-click skin retouching solutions, or like one-click, complete photo editing, like it does your color, it does your lighting for you, and all that. So we are going to test some of that stuff out today, and I think I have a really good batch of images to try to see how we can push this program. And I have never touched this before, so this is my first time ever even seeing it. So this will be kind of like a real world take on how someone new would experience this software. So I am here, and the first thing I see is the title of the program, some test photos that they've added for their like educational or like learn tool, and then at the top 4 categories of catalog, templates, edit, and export. So catalog, we know from Lightroom, you create a catalog, so it creates a directory of all your files and it knows where stuff is and you can rate things and organize them. Templates, I'm not sure what that is. I have not seen that before. And then edit and export. Edit is just your develop tool, and export is just converting it to different file types, I'm going to assume. Our catalog tab is on the right instead of the left. So that's one difference to Lightroom. We have some tutorial photos that are kind of baked into the software. Single image edits, recently added, recently edited, and trash. So it seems like there's a built-in trash feature to this too, which Lightroom does not have. I'm assuming this plus is add photos. So we're going to add a folder, and I already have the folder picked out and prepped for us. We're going to be using the images that I worked on from my last stream, actually, when I went to Los Angeles at the beginning of the year. So we're going to bring in this folder and just the images that we kind of liked and already rated 5 stars, but as raws, no edits to these. So this is the bare bones raw images, and we are really going to be walking through this software for like the first time. So yeah, I mean, there's no previews or of anything. We didn't build smart previews or one-to-one previews or anything. So it's going to be interesting to see how quickly this renders out my stuff too. And another caveat is that we are running these off of a hard disk drive instead of a solid state drive or even an internal drive. So that might affect speeds too. So take that with a grain of salt as well. But it seems like it renders these pretty quickly. Although every time I move around the image, I do have to like wait for it to render out. Okay. I wonder if I right click it, what my options are. Go to export, adjustments, rotate, set flag, and create album. Thanks. So I don't see any options for creating like a preview of any kind. It tells us it's in raw format. We get an info panel here. We get all of our metadata from the shot itself. And yeah, it's very minimalistic in its UI. Like, I don't see a lot of options immediately in front of me. Oh, and then that takes us to different tutorials. Okay. Templates. Let's see templates. So for this photo, it's telling me that an urban style edit would be good, a blockbuster edit would be good, big screen, and then they have other templates on the marketplace that I could download. So that's cool. It's kind of like their preset. Oh, and then it's a collection. Okay, so these are preset packs. So these templates are kind of just a series of like Old Town, Edinburgh, Toronto, Melbourne. It's funny because I also name my presets by city name. So like Abbey Street is a black and white, New York, kind of vibrant. Channel the energy of your favorite city and make the street photography pop. So this is for like street photography, excuse me, blockbuster. And like the colors and lights of your favorite blockbusters. Film noir, beyond the wall, teal and orange, Shanghai, cyberpunk, speedway. Cool. Favorites, so I can sort out my templates. My templates, favorites, ones that I've downloaded, purchased, legacy templates from previous versions. And then these are the essentials. These are for landscapes, and they have them categorized by subject matter, which is really cool. Nature ones, waterscapes, naturescapes, ones with animals, experimental portrait presets, simple portrait presets, essence for elegant, interesting, monochrome. They have presets for macro photography, which is really cool. Cinematic lifestyle, influencer, filmatic, urban style. And then they have some for drone photography. All right, cool. So I think this shot would constitute mostly as a lifestyle image. So I'm going to go in here and see what they have. So if I apply this, but really like blurred it out, unless it's just not rendered. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's just re-rendering every time I move it around the screen. So can I increase my zoom level? Yeah. Fit to screen, that's 12%, 50%, 25% seems good. And I'm sure it'd be better to see if it was a horizontal, like if I did this. I should probably work on this one so I could see it a little better. So we'll do like 25%. Yeah, just have it fill the screen. And then if I throw this Nighthawks one on, that's cool. We can also adjust the intensity of the preset. So if we like do gradations of it, like a little bit of it. So like mostly black and white. Cozy Den. So this is a very like vintage, kind of low saturation, orange and yellow preset. Eventide. This is a very cool blue preset. Even in glow is nice. And another important thing to keep in mind is when it comes to stuff like presets, they're not one-stop shops usually. A preset is just a really good starting point to give you inspiration for a look, and then from there you would further dial it in and make your own adjustments and really make it your own style. So light wash is kind of cool, but I wish it was even like lighter white. Lighter washed out, like less color, more bright whites, maybe some pinks in the highlight. So we'll start with light wash, and I'll favorite it so I can go back to it at any time. And then I can edit, and there we go. If I right click the preset in the corner, it'll take me straight to the edit module, but I can also get there from clicking back and forth on this. So we have Enhance, which is in the Essentials panel, and that gives us accent AI, which I'm not sure exactly what that does. I mean, from looking at it, I think it's just a saturation boost for the most part, and also a contrast boost as well. And then Sky Enhancer, and that, I believe, just from looking at it, targets blue channels, brings down the luminance of blue channels to recover sky information. So if I turn that off, it looks kind of faded and kind of boring. There's also Composition AI. So this is interesting because it's artificial intelligence for your cropping. So if you don't want to think too hard or like, muddle over the little tiny details like, oh, I think I left this in, I want to cut this out. Let's let the AI control it. So I cropped it in about that much. We're cutting off a little bit of the tree. It did center our subject really well though, so it knows the plane is what we want to see. So it put that right in the middle. I don't like that it cut out all of this sign though, so I'll bring it back a little bit. Bring it up too. And we will confirm that. There we go. And yeah, just like in Lightroom, the / key is our before and after. And I like what it did with the color. The sky was mostly purple, but it brought it back to a blue level that's comfortable. Erase. Is that like erasing things from our scene? So this is like the spot healing tool that we would know from Lightroom. But instead of using a source point to clone and stamp, I believe it's just using AI to just detect what's in it and get rid of it, which is pretty cool. So this like annoying sign in the middle is gone, and let's see if we can get rid of this guy. That will be interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's not a guy anymore. I don't know what it replaced it with, but it mostly got rid of him. There was also more guy to get rid of, but it did extend the truck further, which I think does actually make sense. It did a good job of recognizing this pattern and just continuing with it. Okay, so command plus minus zooms in and out of the image to full. So if we close that tool, we have light, which is our basic panel. So we can adjust the temperature, so I can make it cooler or warmer. I can make it warmer, and then add magenta to make it a little more pink. We have our exposure, our smart contrast, which is not necessarily, I'm assuming they just have a completely different method of doing contrast. So I'm going to lower the smart contrast, pick up the exposure because I want to wash this out a little more. And I want to pump more pink in there, which I think if they have a curves tool, I'll use that to do it. Or just add more magenta. Yeah, there we go. That's kind of the tone I was looking for. Highlights, I'll pick up the highlights because we want the shot to glow. And then shadows, that's too much. Blacks and whites, so that's our black point, our white point. So it's interesting that they've separated these tools. I'm gonna check my audio really quick. Yeah, we're pretty good right now. And are we being dual streamed? We are. I had a feeling, because we have a lot of viewers right now. So if you're just joining us, thank you for joining the stream. If you're joining through Adobe Live's dual cast, thank you especially for sticking with this. For anyone new in the stream, to reiterate, my name's Daniel Livingstone. I'm a full-time photographer and retoucher, and we are trying out Skylum Software's LUMINAR program, LUMINAR AI, for the first time ever. So everything that you're seeing that's new to you is also new to me in the exact same way. So I'm just kind of talking myself through the program to make sense of it for me, and I hope that you get a little something along the way too. And I'm really just pulling from my knowledge base of post-processing and other programs, mostly Lightroom and Photoshop, to explain how I think some of these tools work. And I will get into contact with Skylum soon to learn more about this and kind of get their end of it, and maybe even get in touch with their developers to really, really understand behind the scenes of what these sliders do mathematically. That's the best way that I learn stuff, is just knowing the ins and outs of it to understand the full scale. So with our blacks and whites, we're just adjusting our white point with this slider, which I think is nice. And then the black point, we can drop a little bit, just make it subtle. And then we can, oh, we cannot turn this on and off. We can reset the tool. And then we have our profiles. Interesting. So this is like a all together, like before and after, off and on. And then in our curves, okay, this is something we're used to. Oh, there's a midpoint slider now, and our white and black point slider. Interesting. So now we can, instead of having to create our own midpoint like this, which you normally would, we can drag the entirety of the midpoint in and out. So if I make a curve like this, oh, and our midpoint is dragged so far out. Yeah. And it seems like this curve tool is very delicate. So if we put that back in the center where it's supposed to be and then straighten all these out. Can I reset the curves tool? I can reset the curves tool by double clicking those, but I cannot reset the midpoint tool by double clicking it. So that would be, I don't even know if I can get it exactly to where it was from the start. But we'll try to leave it as close as possible to where we were. And of course, with any curves tool, you have your red, your green, and your blue channels. But this midpoint slider is nice. I just wish you could reset it, because there are many times where I only do like a 1-point curve, and I just need to adjust the blue level down a little bit. So like I was saying, if we got to curves, I would make this a little more pink. So I'm just going to lock in a midpoint and then put some red tint in the highlights. Not a lot though. It seems like these curves are really heavy-handed. Oh yeah, that's a lot. I guess I have to wait for it to catch up. And we're going to do a midpoint lock here. And then add some blue, or take out some blue in the highlights. And add a little magenta to the highlights as well. Not too much. I think I'm just waiting for it to catch up. Or this is just very delicate. Oh, excuse me. So that's kind of that pink highlight we were looking for. And that's just in the basic tab. So if I keep going down, we have structure AI, which has already been applied. I would like to zoom in and see what this is actually doing to our image. Oh, it's actually not as grainy as I thought it was. I think it was just not rendering. Oh yeah, yeah. So if I apply this structure, it adds just like a little soft, super local contrast to things. So if I crank this all the way up, it really pops that out. But it's still like delicate, like it's not way overdone. Oh, and then negative structure will make it softer, which is also kind of a cool look. Yeah, it kind of removes those like very, very small black points. If I boost it, is that just like taking the level we're at and pushing it further? Yeah. So if I do a lot, and then add boost, it'll really send it into orbit. You know, at the high end, it's really not that bad. It's still very, like, delicate. Like, it doesn't go too hard, even at the max amount. Like, if I max these out and turn it off and on, it added, like, a lot of contrast overall to the scene, like in the sky. But it didn't really make the image super crunchy. It actually just brought out a lot of the shadow detail, which I was not expecting from structure. Seeing like these like actual sharp details aren't like over sharpened. That's really cool. They did a good job with that. I like this tool. I'm going to bring the structure down a little bit and then boost it up just to add that softness, like that dreamy softness. And now down to the color tab. Oh, it's just our basic tab, Lightroom, saturation, vibrance, and then remove color cast, which is a different slider that I've never seen before. So if I max that out, I was just taking away my pink. Is it trying to like neutralize it? I think it's trying to bring like the natural white point back, which is the opposite of what I'm trying to do because this is a creative edit. Now, if this was something more like a headshot or something lifestyle that needed to be like really clean, I think this slider would be really useful. And then yeah, global saturation adjust, global vibrance adjust. Boost the vibrance a little bit. I tend to do that in a lot of my images, and these are directly editable, so I can type in values. Yeah, and then everything over 100 will max it out. So if I do like 10, I'll do 10. And then, okay, each individual tool has its own mask. So if I wanted to increase the saturation of like one area, I could do a radial mask. And this is inside, this is outside, so that's a good invert, fill, clear, copy, show mask. Cool. And I wanted to increase the saturation like just this corner. I can make that bigger, smaller, like that. It's interesting though that I can't increase the gradation of it. Like this inner part. Fill. What does that mean? Oh, fill the screen? Clear. Got it. Show mask. Okay. Hide mask. Great. I'm sure there's keyboard shortcuts associated with all this too, so I will have to check that like after this. I mean, there's no sense in like trying to how did I rotate that? There's no sense trying to like optimize the workflow already. Oh, so if I grab in the point, it's a size difference, and if I grab outside the point, it's a rotate. Cool. So if I really want it, and then how do I delete this mask? Clear. How do you delete a mask? Because backspace doesn't do it. Reset the tool. Okay. Oh, okay. And it gets rid of all your masks associated with that tool. So if I had a lot of masks, it would get rid of all of them, right? Okay, cool. And then the HSL panel is hidden underneath that. Hello, Vladimir. Thank you for commenting. And Valdir Lopez, thank you for commenting. I don't speak that language, so I don't know what that says. I can translate, I suppose. Let's see. Are these images paid? No. Or did you pay for these images? I think I understand what you're trying to say. These images, I shot all these. These are all personal work. These are not client work by any means. And this stream is not sponsored, by the way. I just decided to give it a try. I got a free key. Outside of doing this stream, I actually had a key since, I think, June or July of this summer, and I am just now starting to use the software. And like I said, I have been using LUMINAR as a plugin for Photoshop because I was testing out their skin retouching software for my own professional use. But this is the first time I'm using their catalog system, their catalog program, the full LUMINAR AI suite. So HSL, hue, saturation, luminance, all the tools that we're used to. But then there's a global hue shift, which is like shifting all the colors in an image, which is kind of cool too. So I kind of do want to shift these blues towards a pinkish color. And actually, to go back now that I understand how the masking system works, we cannot add masks for curves or anything in the light panel. Good to know. But we can do it for color. So if I wanted to let's see. If I wanted to change the mask mode to radial and put it here in the corner, and then invert that so it comes up here, I can do a hue shift within the circle. I can. Just checking audio. Okay, good to know. I wish I could delete it with the delete key. Clear it. Just have it not exist. It's fine. Moving on, there's a black and white panel, which I like that clicking on the panel doesn't automatically convert it to black and white, but it makes you decide whether you want to do that. And then you can adjust the luminance, saturation of different things. Details, small details, medium details, large details, and sharpen. Details masking, sharpening masking. I wonder if it's the same. So let's increase the detail of large details. And what would that constitute? Okay. That's where we get kind of more of our structure edits that I was looking for. You can make it really crunchy. Medium details, and then what's large details? Oh, so all the larger points of contrast. And then small details. It's fine grain. So if we remove all small details versus large details, it's kind of a bigger blur. So it's interesting that you could lower the small details but increase the medium ones to get very specific levels of sharpness. Oh, and then the Sharpen tool. Wow, that is clear and very crunchy. So this is where the power is. This is going to be your hardest sharpening tool right here. Details, protection. So if I sharpen the hell out of it and then max out the protection. Huh. So this is editing the sharpening tool with maximum protection. And then if I remove all that protection, it gets real kind of jagged. And in Lightroom, in a similar tool, if you hold down the Alt key and mess with these sliders, it will show you a mask of what's being sharpened. I don't think Luminar has that same feature. Cool. We are going for a soft edit, so we really don't need these things. I might bring back some medium details, though. And I know there's going to be a grain feature down the road, because there has to be. But we'll get to that. Denoise, don't need that, because this doesn't really have a lot of noise. It was shot outdoor on a sunny day. The Haze, oh, and these are for landscape tools. So there's a golden hour tool, which will increase, I'm sure, like yellow levels, everything. And then Foliage Enhancer, which picks up the green channels of the greenery in the subject. So let's see if it works in these palm trees. This is 100%. That's 0. And I see it adding some yellow content to these up here. So I'll leave that on a little bit. There's a Vignette Tool, which is simple. This choose subject. So there is some AI in this, I believe. So it'll move your vignette around. Interesting. Standard vignette tools. I like that it's only 2 though. And then there's advanced settings, which is roundness feather and inner light. That's cool. And you can set it whether it's post-crop or pre-crop. That's also a really neat feature. So like, if your subject's in the middle right and you crop it from the left in, you can either have it hold that frame and crop or vignette from the crop, or you can have the vignette just exist and you crop into the vignette. That's something Lightroom definitely does not have. I don't think this shot needs a vignette, but that's good to know. And now we have even more tools. I mean, there's so many tools in this develop module. There's the creative tab, the portrait tab, and the professional tab. I'm going to start with the creative tab. I think we'll skip the portrait one for this shot, but we can try it on a different shot. So let's do sky AI. So another thing Luminar is really known for is their sky replacements. They have their own sky images, and I believe their sky images that are in the program, a lot of them are shot by their development team or their like staff team. So we can shot for different skies. For this photo, it wants to do sunset clouds. So I don't know if that's loading. It is loading. Okay, so like that's super dramatic, but it is really cool. It kind of matches the color toning, and I think it relit the subject. So it added lighting to the plane to kind of match it, which is really interesting. And then it kind of fades it off at the bottom. Now this wasn't shot in sunrise or sunset, so it's not going to match super well. There's dramatic sky. And this is obviously not the kind of image that we want to do a sky replacement on. Especially not sunset skies like this. We would probably need a daytime sky. So let's see what's available. We can grab all of their sky replacements on their website. I wonder if there are other ones we could... Oh, so these are packs. Got it. Sunset clouds, dramatic sky. So we have these packs, and in these packs come a lot of skies. So there's already a lot baked into the bare bones software. So stuff like this, that makes a lot more sense with this image. And we don't need something with a lot of clouds in it. Now, I don't think I'm going to replace the sky in this shot, but like that's kind of believable. So we pick our shot, horizon position, lower that down, and then bright blue sky 2. We can flip the direction so it's horizontal, going one way or the other to match the direction of lighting. I think this matches the direction that we had originally. Mask refinement, scene relighting. So that's what I'm saying. Like, with the AI software in this program, it puts a sky in, and then it tries to detect the lighting that was in the sky shot and relight your image to match it so that they're kind of blended. So like this is like entirely matching the lighting from the sky to the image, so it's much flatter, the direction makes a lot more sense. Relight saturation, so trying to match the color that sky would be reflecting onto the image too. Relight human, there's no human subject, so that doesn't matter. But that really... Oh, so it like created a shadow in this sign, given the direction of the sun in the image. That's really cool. That it can detect this object and relight that. Mask refinement. Close gaps. So I'm assuming it's with these, yeah. Allowing more things into our shot. I think it's still loading some edits. It's thinking very hard. Yeah, this seems pretty intensive on the program. I'm gonna turn that off really quick. Turn it on. Alright, so this is with absolutely no settings applied. And it's a little choppy when you apply to absolutely nothing to it. So let's try to fix this a little bit with the refinement edges. So fixed details seems to be doing a lot of work on closing these gaps, or fixing the edges, and detecting what our subject is and what the sky is. But it does take a minute to really like get there. Global mask refinement, I'm going to dial up a little bit. Close those gaps some more. And then fix the details even more. So it does a good job of grabbing the plane. Yeah, like that's really good. But then the palm trees kind of suffer, and I will admit, palm trees are a really tough test for this, to detect these super, super fine edges. But that's kind of how... Oh, and then reflection amount. Wow, water blur. Jeez. Sky adjustment. We can defocus it, which is a great tool. Because if the sky, if you're shooting a low aperture, your sky is going to be out of focus on your subject. You can add a grain to the sky alone to match the grain of your original image. Atmospheric haze. So let's see what that does. The warmth and the brightness to match other settings in your image too. And now that I've been looking at this for a while and like not thinking about it, the sky actually does look like it kind of fits in the scene. Like it looks pretty realistic now that we've like tuned out for a minute. I mean, from our original sky, it looks kind of boring now, to be honest. If I can figure out the refinements on the masking, I would consider using that sky. So there's augmented sky, and then we have object selection. And I don't even know how that works, and I don't necessarily want to dive into that just yet, because I want to get this out. Atmosphere, we got fog, layered fog, and mist, and haze. That seems more like a landscape thing, which we do have, and we will be able to use these tools in it. Sun rays, dramatic. I don't know what the dramatic slider is. Does that just add a lot of contrast and desaturate? Mood, light wash. Oh, that's our preset. Okay. Toning. No toning. Oh, the split toning. So adding color to highlights and shadows. Matting. Oh, it's cool. There's a matte slider, so you can really gray out the blacks without having to do that manually in the curves or the black point sliders. And then vividness. Neat. Color toning. There's more? Oh my god. Oh, this is exactly what we're looking for. Because I wanted to add pink. And that's how we get our color toning. Yeah, now we have a pink edit. Although I did kind of want it more in the highlights, or like in the sky, but that's okay. So this is like a global split toning, essentially. So if we do highlights, then we add a little bit of pink. I don't want it to be so purple, though. Yeah, it's pretty. That's kind of the pink tone we want. Yeah. Mystical. Oh, this is like straight up like a saran wrap, like soft filter. Which could be useful for this. I know we've already been doing things to make it this way, from using the like basic tabs and the detail tabs, but it's cool that this is its own tool, so I don't need to do it so manually. Okay. Huh, I like that. There's a glow tab too. And that's kind of the same thing, but also uses brightness as an element. And there's advanced settings of warmth, brightness. Oh, and this slider is very subtle. Film grain, there's the grain tool. And alright, these are the exact 3 sliders I expected to be here. So we can add a considerate amount of grain, and then control the size of that grain. We can take it real far once it renders. This is also like a render heavy process. So that's size. We can dial the size back, and then we can take the roughness up, which just increases the contrast of the existing grain a little bit. But I like a soft, like large grain. Oh yeah, it's pretty heavy. Roughness down, amount. Let's do the amount down, keep the size up. I think this would be better if my computer could render it faster. That's pretty good though. Because I cannot, when I'm doing grain, I need it to be fully rendered so I can see like the actual grain and not a render, and then a render into grain like that. It's kind of tough to see what you're actually doing. The portraits tools we will skip. The professional tools seem interesting. So optics is like lens distortion, remove chromatic aberration, which I like to do. Wow, it's a lot of lens distortion. I think we're going to keep that in there. And then there's even more defringe, devignette. Okay. Super contrast, highlights contrast, midtones contrast, shadows contrast. color harmony, brilliance, and warmth. So I max that out. Is that just like another kind of saturation tool? Except it ignores, I don't even know, yellows? And then another warmth slider. Okay. The grain is really killing the re-render though every time. So we're gonna have to be careful with that. Dodge and burn. Which gives us an actual dodge and burn brush tool, which is cool. Light and dark and erase, brush size, softness, strength, overall amount. Okay. So it's just like, yeah, percentage of lightness and darkness, and then an eraser tool for that, which is convenient. You don't have to go into Photoshop to do dodging and burning when you're just using the software on its own. And then a clone tool, which I like that it takes away all of your edits so you can see what you're working on. So oh, click to set the source. Hey, that's pretty good. That is not bad. And we can just undo that. So first it has to confirm the clone that we made, as you can see from the progress bar here. And then it reapplies our edit. So we can turn off our clone. Close that. It has to apply the undo. And this is where we're at right now, which looks pretty good. And I think that's all of the tools. So yeah, Luminar is stacked with a lot of tools. And I'm looking at this tab over here. There's some local masking. Oh, and this is where we see all of our masks. Oh, and then you can adjust the basic tab in this. Nice. So this is outside of like each individual tool being done. And you can just adjust stuff like that. You can adjust warmth though and not tint, which I'm surprised about. Reset this tool. Can I clear this tool or delete it? I cannot. Oh, there we go. I click the X over the tool and then it's gone. Figured that one out. So I wonder if my color masks are still existing. No, it doesn't seem like it. And I feel like they would appear here as well. I'm going to test that really quick. If I do like a color mask and I do a painted mask. Saturation way up. So now we can see it. If I go in here, oh, it doesn't appear in there. So each individual tool that has its own mask, there's not a way for me to get rid of it. I can erase from that mask. And then show mask. And it doesn't seem to appear anywhere. Okay. Got it. So I wish there was a way for you to like easily clear out your masks inside the tools instead of just erasing them. And there might be, and we just don't know it yet. And history. Oh, cool. There's a whole history tab here, so I can go back on any of that. Great. And there's a snap to original, so just a hard reset on everything. Oh yeah, because there isn't a reset button anywhere on here, so that's how you would have to do that. Adjustments. Revert to original. Control-Shift-R. I knew there was going to be a shortcut to that. Cool. Adjustments. I can copy adjustments. I can sync them between images. So like if I took this image and this image. Oh, and then there's a before and after slider tool, so you can apply that. That's neat. Nice. Turn it off and on again. So if I have both of these selected, go into catalog and select both of those, can I have them like both appear as 1-ups? Then can I change the viewing size of them? That would be cool if you had like a comparison view or like only show selected. I guess all I can do is just make them large and just look at them from here. So if I do adjustments, I can sync adjustments and it'll apply all that to this. I think it's taking a minute to load that in. Hello Nazmol, thank you for joining the stream. You would like some points? Well, you've chosen the right stream because I am using this program for the first time and just kind of walking myself through it based on my knowledge of other software. So feel free to follow along and ask any questions if you have any. I'd love to answer them, even if they're not about this program specifically. So we're looking at this one, and it did copy those over. I think it's still rendering, though. The grain is really what's doing it in. Oh, wow, and it's really, really soft. So I want to, we're most of the way there. I want to dial back some elements, like the film grain can come back. The mystical glow can come back a lot too. And the what do? We have adjustments in the sky? Oh, they're just off. We did add some softness, didn't we? Under structure AI? Yeah. We'll bring some of that back. Cool. I might even add some glow back again now that we've sharpened it up. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll even add a little bit of film grain back in. It's pretty tight. Very vintage vibe. And we all started this off with the light wash preset, which is pretty cool. So we have these two images. I'm going to move on to something a little more different. Because we've been working on this singular image for a while now. Do I have like a timestamp on this? Oh, we've been going since 12:30, so it's been about an hour. So yeah, that was like an hour-long, like just run through of LUMINAR, going through as many tools as I possibly can. It seems like a really thorough program. I mean, they've definitely taken a lot of pain points from Lightroom and improved upon them. So I can see this being a really strong alternative to Lightroom if you don't have Lightroom. And then even still, it's not like these things are mutually exclusive. Like you could use both. You could even have a workflow of LUMINAR into Photoshop if you want to do more specific, precise retouching. So let's edit like an entirely different subject matter. I have these shots of me that we could work on. Like I like this shot a lot. So we could try some of the portrait stuff on it, just on its own. I'm going to go to Enhance. No, I'm going to go. First of all, I want to see what the Composition AI tool is. I want to play around with that more. So it didn't grab all of me, but it cut out all the extra stuff. So let's just do that. Maybe even a little extra legroom. And then if we go to light. So with all of the AI stuff, the one thing I am surprised about is that Lightroom has an AI feature for this light panel, or like the basic adjustments, but not LUMINAR. Oh, so this like enhances everything in the background. That's cool. Let's do another template actually with this shot. Let's do filmatic. Urban style. I like this one. I do want to make it brighter though. Let's see what's in Blockbuster. Good old teal and orange. Oh, that one's cool. I might dial it back a little bit, but it's mostly there. And then if we go to edit, I'll make it brighter. So now, knowing kind of how the program works for the most part, I can go in and do what I'm used to, because I know how this program works now, and I know how I like to edit. So we can just kind of jump right into things like popping exposure, bringing up the shadow detail, making it a little warmer, maybe even brighter, more contrast, less preset. The skin tones are still preserved pretty well. I might take some of the green out, add a little bit of magenta. Or we can just go in and white balance off the shirt. Oh, there's matting on the whites, I see. Because of the preset. So the portrait tools, portrait bokeh. So this like selects our subject and kind of blurs out the background, I'm assuming. It did a pretty good job of cutting me out. Is there like an eraser tool like to remove? Cool. So it did a good job of grabbing me. It grabbed a little bit extra of shoe and stuff, but so like we can really blur up that background. Radius. Oh, of the brush. Softness, opacity of the brush, okay. Focus, defocus. Oh, defocus is just subtract. Okay, so that's that tool. Bring some of that back in. Defocus some of this out. Yeah, we're kind of having to wait for the program to catch up a little bit. My computer is not handling some of this stuff super well. So I'm also curious to test this out on my MacBook. Cool. And then we can change the brightness of the background. Darken it up a little bit to make me pop out. Highlights glow. Change the warmth of just the background, or the coolness of just the background. Depth correction. So, adjusting like how far back and forth we're controlling that. And edges correction. It's hard to tell what these exact tools are doing just from like using them. So I may need to do some research online after this to figure out how these operate a little more specifically. We have some face tools. So we can slim the face. Let's see how good of a job this picks up on my face. It definitely worked. Let me turn that off. It'll probably snap into what its regular state is. Yeah. So that's without, and once it loads, this will be with the tool. Alright, I'm going to turn that off because that's fine. I'm curious about face light though. And let me check my task manager to see how this program is handling my computer. So it's really CPU intensive. It's actually really chewing through my CPU. I'm gonna need a Threadripper for this bad boy when it's rendering out these AI things. Face light. So is it trying to add light to just my face? Yeah, it's just adding light to only my face, which is kind of cool. Eyes, not applicable to this shot because I have sunglasses. Mouth, lip saturation. Lip redness. Oh, cool. Lip darkening. Teeth whitening. Hey, that does a good job of grabbing onto my teeth. Skin AI, not an issue for this because it's pretty like a smooth shot. Like there's not a lot of clarity or detail, and it's not a close-up portrait either. We have some body tools, shape and abdomen. I wonder what this is gonna do. So just slimming me down. Oh, interesting. I kind of deform my arm because I think it's expecting people to be facing torso to the camera, but since I'm in a side profile, it doesn't really work out super well for this shot. And then abdomen. It's gonna slim down like this. Yeah, it's just pulling in from the center of what it detects the outer edges of the body are. So I'm gonna reset those. And then high key. What does high key do? Oh, it just like kind of washes out the color. Dynamic high key. Is it just like washing out, yeah, shadow on my body? Giving it that like desaturated skin tone look that's really popular. That's cool. Yeah, that works. Oh, we could get rid of these guys in the back. With our... What tool was it? How do we get rid of those people? Was it the clone tool, or did we have like a little like subject get rid of it tool? The erase tool. Because we gotta get rid of these people. So this is, because clone will use a source, but erase is more like the healing tool in Photoshop, where like it just kind of figures out what's around it to get rid of it, which I like as a faster tool than having to set a source point, especially if there isn't a good one and it just needs to make something up. That should be good. Not bad, but let's try that again. How's that handling? 77% of my memory, just see that. That's better. I'm happy with that. It's not noticeable. It's not super noticeable at all. I mean, from that to that, it's pretty good. And like, let's just clean up random parts of this image. Put this software to the test. clean up this little dot. That one should be easy. Yeah, I'm happy with this. So we've gone from this to this. So it's some subtle edits, but it still has a good mood to it. I might even check out this landscape. Where'd they go? Where's the like atmosphere? No. Sun rays. Dramatic. What's the dramatic again? Just adds like contrast. Or remove saturation. Toning, matte, mystical, film grain, skin, color, harmony, super contrast. Where's the like, is it in the color tab? The like plant foliage tools? Landscape, there we are, like foliage enhancer. Let's get those plants nice and crispy. It actually does like brighten up the green values, interestingly. This is sharp, right? Or did we add too much glow to it? It's pretty sharp, but I think I want some more sharpness. That's way better. Now that's clear. It's hazy, but it's still like sharp. So I like that. Can I mark this as like 5 stars? How does the rating system work? Set flag, unmarked adjustments, create album. I think there's just like a favorite. Yeah, it's just a favoriting system for now. So there's no like scale, I don't think. So I'll mark this as a favorite, which is what key? P. Let's do something really different, like an actual landscape, a proper landscape. We'll go back to the catalog for this. And I'm gonna try to, well, I suppose I don't need to, because I'll make an Instagram post of this, recapping some of the images I worked on. Let's get a good landscape shot in there. And man, this is really clocking the hell out of my CPU just by loading the images in the catalog. That's intense. Let's give a shot like, let's do this one. I like this rock. It's a good rock. I am noticing that the program is running a little slowly on my machine. And I don't know what if there's anything I can do to fix that by like pre-rendering previews or optimizing the program somehow. But we're going to mark this as P for favorite, go to templates. And I like playing around with these templates. They're good starting points for the images. This is a landscape shot, and it is a easy landscapes. Let's see. Long exposure, sunset. Long exposure is nice. Clean light, noirscape. Forest stream is also really nice. Snowfall. So between long exposure and forest stream, I think long exposure, it's like very, very vibrant. So vibrant that I might have to take down. No, actually I like the blues. The blues are really popping. Some smart contrast in there. This is gorgeous. I also want to, God, that's really nice. Add some sharpness, because I really like the way that their clarity tools work. I'm going to need to zoom in for this, though. Probably do like a 50% zoom. Some medium details. No, it's too much. What about small details? Oh, yeah, I can see more apparently how this works now. Cool. I'm gonna bring the composition in a little bit. Confirm that. This looks really good already. Like, we've barely done anything. Sun rays? Nah. Oh, I see. So we're like placing our own sun. What if I took it off screen though? No, it wouldn't really make a lot of sense. Dramatic. Is this going to take away some of the... I'll do like 3 points. And kind of add some like light coming in from the side. So like I think I can try out these local tools and do like is a texture one? What does that mean? Oh, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Like these like filters. Yeah. Summer day, that's exactly what I was looking for. Like flares. Let's see, sparklers. Oh, see, there's sparkler filters. Cool. That's like really what I was looking for too. Except, let's see if I can get a different one. Flip it horizontally, flip it vertically. That's nice. Advanced settings, saturation. Hue, that's what I want. I wanted just the hue. Make it a little more orange toned. Oh yeah, they really let you control everything in this. That's so nice. Yeah, these little like overlays are something that's I definitely would consider using in my workflow more often because I do want to add like an extra touch to my work that amplifies it, and this makes it really easy. So we've gone from this to this, which like a lot of subtle adjustments, but it's beautiful. Let's see, color. Everything looks good in that end. Might pump these blues up a little more in the saturation. And some of the cyans. And there we go, we have a gorgeous landscape, all finished. So we've got about, let's say 10 minutes left. So what else can we work on? I want to do another like, let's see. This hotel shot. One of these landscapes has got to be it, right? Like we could do this shot. Or even this shot. And then make it a vertical composition. Oh, this one would be cool though. Yeah, let's do this one. So, back to templates. Snowfall doesn't look bad on this. Adds a lot of texture. The long exposure one is really pretty. I feel like I'm going to be using that a lot. Oh, Dream Film is pretty. Dream film's nice. So I do want some of the natural color in it still. Big city lights. I want something warmer. Yeah, we can start with fast fix and then move on from there. Light, more light, less highlights. Keep the shadows low, lots of smart contrast. Maybe even like, I want more detail here. So we can just do a vignette to kind of take care of most of this. Landscape, golden hour, foliage enhancer. Oh, you really see it in this shot. My goodness, those greens are popping. Bit too much. Foliage hue. That's useful. Dang. I was gonna say it looks too green, but yeah, you can really adjust the hue of that. That's really nice. I might still do a gradient from the bottom. Oh, there's really no way to hold it straight? Dang, I wish there was. That's really useful. And then we're going to bring down the highlights. Bring down the shadows. Exposure down. Warmth up. What other tools can we use? I feel like there's just so many options to play with. It's great. Mystical? Do a little bit of glow. Let's default those are fine as they were. I wish I could adjust the hue of it slightly, like a little bit more orange tinted would be good for like the color cast we're getting in the sky here, but that's fine. That's a cool tool though, with this like where it detects the objects and kind of works around it. That's nice. I think this shot's all ready to go then. Maybe adding a little bit of a circular. also wish the icons changed when I hovered over these rings so I know what I'm grabbing. Yeah, I wanted to add more contrast to this rock so I could see it more clearly. That's really neat. Oh, I need to go back to change my composition too. What does AI think the composition should be? I actually agree with that. Let me do a 4x5 really quick. Oh, I do not get the option though with that. Or do I? No, because it will resize the aspect ratio too, I believe. I think that's what it should be. Yeah, that's a nice... That's cool. Lots of blue and orange in this. Like, the color contrast is amazing. And we went from that to that. Oh, so cool. Oh, did we lose our sun, though? I think we lost our sun. I need to move it again. There you are. We got it back. That's amazing. All right, we are rounding up on 2 o'clock Chicago time, so this broadcast should be over soon. I'm going to look at our favorites. Sort by favorite, and we did these images, so that, and that. Does this one include the little clone heal tool we did, or did we undo that? Oh, it didn't even include the thing we got rid of here, too. I would like to save that. Unless it's just not loaded. Let's bring that back. So back to the eraser tool. Oh, did the camera go out? Dang. Let's give that one more shot. Back like nothing left. And erase. And what's going to be the thumbnail? This shot over here. Cool. Then that updates to be gone. Good. All right, let's try to export these now. Export, save to disk mail, smug mug, or 500px integration. That's pretty cool. We're gonna save the photo on disk really quick. Very simple UI right here. Format, sharpen, resize, actual size, color space, RGB, resolution, quality, 100. Browse the location, destination. Alright, and we are exporting those images at full size. We'll see how long it takes for it to render that out too. My computer might have a heart attack doing all this streaming and exporting at once. Yeah, the CPU is going crazy today. And it is also writing these to a hard disk drive, so that might affect speeds as well. We did get one image done though. So, while we're wrapping this up, I just wanted to say thank you to anyone joining the stream. If you liked this kind of content, please consider following. I want to set up some subscriber privileges too, so be on the lookout for that. And if there are things that you are interested in learning specifically that I could add to my subscriber tab, please let me know. I'm already thinking of doing like exclusive tutorials for like retouching techniques, editing techniques. Also, probably going to be selling presets through that tab as well. So if you're interested in using some of my presets, I use my images, be on the lookout for that. And I think, all in all, just to recap, LUMINAR is a great program. I think it's a really strong alternative to Lightroom if you don't want to pay for a subscription. And there are some LUMINAR exclusive tools that have really fascinated me today. I will be giving those a further look on my own and also on stream. If you want to see that, feel free to comment in the chat or send me a message here on Behance saying like, hey, LUMINAR was cool, let's see more LUMINAR, or let's see more Lightroom or Photoshop, whatever. But in the meantime, we have these exported. I'm gonna try to take this. Can I go straight to Photoshop from this, or what's the deal? Can I send this? Can I send this as a TIFF to Photoshop somehow? Like, the only way I can imagine this working is, yeah, selecting that folder and then doing this. Oh, Photoshop? Exported as a PSD? That's a cool functionality. I didn't know they had the PSD file type in here. What would be really sick is if it auto-opened in Photoshop. That would be really cool. But I don't think they have a way of making that happen. Unless my computer has PSDs set as Photoshop being the default program to open that file in, so it doesn't export and then tells the computer to auto-open it, so the computer will open it up in Photoshop by default. That's a clever way of doing that. Alright, please, please. I get it. Oh, and then our folder is right here, 160 images recently added. Nice. So I didn't auto-open it, which is fine. What shot is that? 378? So yeah, I'll leave it with what we have here. I'll make an Instagram post using these images just to showcase like what we did. If you want to see that, go check me out on Instagram at Daniel Livingstone. It is on the bottom of this window, on the very bottom of this window. So go check me out on there. Go check out my YouTube channel, where I think I'll be uploading the first segment of this stream just as my like first ever time like going through LUMINAR and talking through all the tools and stuff. So look forward to that. Catch me on other social platforms. And if you enjoyed what you watched or learned something along the way, feel free to like this stream. Follow me on Behance. Check out some of my other projects. I do need to upload more projects, so stay tuned for that. And to wrap everything up, as always, my name is Daniel Livingstone, and you be sure to do something creative today. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.